Hello tanks and tankettes, and welcome to a view replay of an upcoming premium tank that's already out on the Asia server, which is where Flying Elite here plays. And we've definitely had some replays from Flying Elite before. The name is fairly familiar to me. He's in a platoon with Budgie Smuggler there, which is an excellent name, in an older premium, the AMX CDC. And yeah, I'm maybe going to be talking about this in comparison with some of the older premiums, and maybe just talking about this generally, because having looked up the stats, it looks fairly filthy, to be quite frank. It's not as bad as, say, the Chrysler K, but considering that this is a tier 8 medium tank packing a 122mm gun, it's a little bit disgusting. And it is more around the gun than anything else. The other stats of the tank seem comparatively fine, but that gun just seems ridiculous, and you'll get to see it be ridiculous in this particular video. Now, there are other tier 8 tanks, tier 8 medium tanks with a 122mm gun, and there's also one with a 120mm gun, of course, the M4A1 Revalorise, and that's actually the closest to this in terms of performance, but this, in most regards, outperforms all of them. And it's not like you have to pay any particular penalties for having this exceptional 122mm gun. First and foremost, it's got the best penetration of any of them. It's 212 average AP penetration, which puts it on a par with the CDC with a 90mm gun. The others have 175, of course the Rev has 200, which is, you know, that's okay. 175 is not great at tier 8, and that's why generally the regular tanks that can use the 122, you don't see them using the 122 very often, and you also don't see the T-34-3 very often. So that's, you know, that's already a bit dicey, but then we get to the fact that it has disgustingly good accuracy. It's got the best accuracy of any of the tanks I just mentioned, 0.32. The Rev gets 0.34, and also most of the rest of those tanks get better balloon stats, but it doesn't matter too much because with that 0.32 accuracy, it gets 2.4 aim time. And again, the Rev beats that slightly with 2.3, but that's a much squashier, much taller tank. This is a really low profile machine, and although the hull armor's not that good, the turret armor is actually pretty substantial. So it gets to be a lot lower, it gets to have extremely good accuracy with very good alpha, and it doesn't have to suffer a penalty of a very long aim time or very bad accuracy. And you compare that to, you know, the T-34 or the T-34, the T-44 rather, or the T-34/2 or the /3. They all have, let's see, the T-34-2's just under 3 seconds, the other two are over 3 seconds, and the T-44 is the best of them in terms of the aim time, in terms of the dispersion rather, with 0.4. 0.32 and 0.4, as anybody that's played the game, you know, that's a pretty big difference. You know, the T-34-2 gets 0.46. So there are significant penalties on those tanks for choosing the biggest available gun. And on the Rev, you know, there's the penalty for having that big gun in that you're basically in a Sherman at tier 8 and you can see tier 10s. And the penetration at 200 is, you know, it's okay, it's nothing special. So yeah, it's a bit disgusting really. And even when you look at, you know, say the mobility, it's not like it's especially slow. It's got 50 kph and it has slightly less horsepower per ton than some of the other tanks, but it's still good enough, and it still gets really good terrain resistances, and it doesn't, you know, suffer for view range. It's not like it's got 310 view range or something. No, it gets 370. So once again, we have a premium that's come out that's a bit, you know, disgusting. And from what I've seen of the other recent premium, the tier 8 Chinese premium tank destroyer, that's also, you know, kind of a bit too good considering the competition. I mean, I know not everybody likes when we get machines like the Tiger 131 or the Thunderbolt, but I'd much rather we have more premiums like those, premiums based on actual historical tanks, like individual tanks, than stuff like this. where it's just more or less blatantly overpowered and power creeps all of the older premiums. And I don't play my older premiums that much these days. You know, if I want to grind credits, I reach for, you know, the Defender. Or what else have I got? The American one, the T26E5, because, you know, you jump into an IS6 or you know, the SCM50T, even one of the limited matchmaking ones. Sure, you're not going to see the tier 10s, but you're going to see these machines, and they outclass you in every way. Hell, even the shells on this, you know, most of the 122mm shells are 1,000+ credits. These are, what was it, 880? Let's have a quick check. It's 800 and something credits anyway. It's less than 900 credits. So the shells are even cheaper. 840 credits, there we go. There's no, I don't know. I don't know. You know, what is there to say? It's pretty blatant. You can't really see it as anything else. If it had a super low DPM, but a really accurate gun, you know, if it was like 1500 DPM instead of the, where is it, 1700, it gets 1743 even, which is actually better than the T44 and the T34-2 with the 122mm. And they have less pen and worse accuracy and worse dispersion. Anyway, if it had, you know, a low DPM, if you had a longer reload to put up with, that would at least be something. But no, 1743 DPM is, that's pretty fine. That's okay. You know, it's not super good for a tier 8 medium, but it's certainly not a particular downside. So, anyway, so yeah, basically, this is, you know, just a bit OP, and it's always awkward when one of these tanks comes out, because you can either talk about it and talk about it being OP, at which point somebody somewhere is going to go, oh, I'll buy one of those then, and I'm, you know, helping out wargaming, or I could just not talk about it and pretend it doesn't exist, I guess, but I don't know, I don't think that's any better. You know, there's no good solution to this, so I figure I might as well just go with acknowledging that the thing exists, and it's a bit disgusting, because it is. So, no Top Gun for Flying Elite there, as you could see, but a fair bit of damage. Definitely a fair bit of damage. That was, what, 4,800? Yeah, 4,840 damage. And this was a tier 10 game. And he easily outpaced every other tank because of that .32 accuracy. You can sit and snipe with this and hit people for 390 average over and over and over. And it's just disgusting. It really is. So, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. You know, some people out there will go and buy it, but this is yet another example of a medium tank that is just kind of ruining tier 8 a bit, and one less reason for me to, you know, play World of Tanks myself. I don't know what else to say, really. It's just a bit disgusting. So there you go, the STG Guard. There is going to be the non-camoed version, but this was the Guard version that you saw on screen. It'll be out at some point on EU and NA, I expect, and whether you buy it or not is a matter for your own conscience, but I don't think I will somehow. So hopefully you enjoyed my little semi-rant. And if you did, you can hit the like button, you can leave any comments below, you can sub to my channel if you haven't already, and as always, stay tuned for more.